What's going on, everybody? It's Kaelan Moss and Therion Thacker here, and we are going to be finishing up this AMPscript exercise from Cameron Robert. So let's see. We're going to just go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're just going to finish watching up Cameron Roberts' AMPscript video, and we're just going to basically learn this exercise again. So I'm going to make this screen a little bit bigger. And I'm going to go back to the last part that he had here, which was add accuracy.
So we're thinking a song.
So we got commercials. We got to wait for the commercials to end. Okay.
Okay, and now for our final task, task number 5. We're in the end game now. The CEO themselves has heard of your work and is curious and has a question for you. Given learners earn points every time that they complete a beam, they'd like to know the accuracy each learner has achieved on their completed courses so far, represented as a whole percentage. Let's roll down the following. So the learner's points that they've earned over the sum of the possible completed beam points. Okay. The goal here is to produce an accuracy, so there it is there, to show how accurate each learner has been through their courses. Okay, so of course maybe you don't get 100% of the points if you don't do so well in the course. And so this learner here has 80%, is to have 73. Okay, so we can use the accuracy column. All right, let's go into our code then. Take accuracy with us. Go into our code. Let's make a new table header called accuracy. Right, accuracy, there we are. The accuracy will be a percent. We have to count up all of the points and see what percent they've got. Okay, so we need to have another value. We've been summing up the points they've earned. We now need to get how many points they could have earned. So let's take points. Let's make a new one called max points. That's the maximum they could have earned. You can go into here, and rather than adding up the points that they did earn, we need to add something else, something they could have earned. To do this, we of course have to look up another value again, so we can use our lookup value. But like before, we don't have to look up name this time. We're going to look up another value, which would be their points. So I'll take points, and we'll go looking up the beams, looking up the total points they could have earned for each beam, on each beam ID, of course, and adding that to their max points. That creates the maximum total number of points they could have earned. Okay. So now we have max points, which of course starts at 0. We build it up with adding the whole way. Let's output our max points value before we do our percentage. Just make sure it works. So we've got our max points here. Only, of course, we're not empty. Of course, we're only counting the ones that have completed. We're adding where the beams points value on the ID for, of course, the cloud letter beams. Max points adding. All right. Done and schedule. So how many points did each learner actually accrue? So you can see here that they've got this many points, but they could have earned that many. That looks about right. We did see it was in the 70 and 80 percentiles. That looks about right. All right, so we got the right number. We now just need to create it as a percentage function. So to do a percent function, we're going to have to do a couple of things. We have to do a number format. We also want to do a divide. So before we output our values, we want to do some math. So we can do our math just here, outside of the for loop, before we output the values. So let's go set percent. Set percent will be equal to, first we have to do is divide. Oops, divide. We're going to divide what by what. It'll be the points you've earned divided by the max points. We have that value. We have to do one more thing, which is a number format. So for the number format, we want to do a format number function. So go format number. We're going to format that number, dividing points by max points, and into what format? Well, in the format number function, we do have the percentile, which is a p. So we can use p, but we do also want to make sure there's no decimal points. So if we go and check our brief, it says the whole percentage with no decimals. So if we go back into our code, we use the P0, which means 0 decimal places, as our @ percent. With that percent, of course, we can use @% in our output. We can check out our code by going schedule and publish. Hey, and there we are. 74, 73, 73. 74, 73, 73. Perfect. That is task number 5, fifth and final, complete. And so now.
Okay. So, you know what's crazy is that finally I feel like it makes sense. It's starting to make sense.
Yeah. I mean, we've digested it so many different ways that we're covering each aspect that we can. For anybody that's even watching, you know, as we go back through and re-review each breakdown that we look at.
Yeah. Because we've watched that like what? We've watched that like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times for sure. Yep.
I need to share my screen here. I'm just chopping it up with you and forgetting I'm not sharing.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, man. So we've watched that 4 or 5 times through the past few episodes, last few study sessions. So now I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. And if we go over to Web Studio, Cloud Pages, it's starting to make, as far as like the reading it's starting to make sense.
Yep.
And like when he was talking, it started to make sense what he was saying, like the lingo, the words, everything was just kind of like, okay, I've heard this before. I've seen this. I kind of understand what he's talking about. So in the code, he adds in this field called accuracy. Oh yeah, we still have AMPscript up, ampscript.io. So we have this. We have where it says accuracy. It's the accuracy field.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have set. Okay, so how does he have it here? He has it like.
Okay, so he, instead of using row set, is using set at row equals lookup rows. I see where we've used row set here on line 29. See, we can actually number our lines here. So if you just, now that we can sit, if I ask you where you're at, you can go, hey, I'm at line 29 because we're using ampscript.io, which is super convenient.
So true. So
right.
Yeah.
So we can really follow each other without me burning my eyeballs out of my skull for the day. So, okay, so we're at line 29, right? Which is our very first line after our table headers and our HTML at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so he is deciding to use row instead of row set.
Yep.
And that's going to equal lookup rows. And then we're diving into that data extension to look for anything that is active or true or coming back as 1.
Yep. And then
we're
for loop.
Yep, we're going to kick off this for loop. In the beginning of this for loop, we're going to name our variable at I to equal 1 to row count. And once again, there's row set, and he replaced that with row. So there's another section there where he replaced that with row. And then once it's going through this loop, we want it to do these things. So 1 to the end of our row count. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think, oh, actually, that's another change he made in here. I just picked up. Okay, so 4 at 1 equals 1 to row count. So now the loop is starting. We're going to count our rows. Do this for us. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set beams equal to 0.
Set beams.
Yeah, so it's just not in the right order. We have it in a different order below. That's from what.
Oh,
yeah. We're there. We're good. So set beams equal to 0. Set points equal to 0. And then we need this new value of max points, right? So let's create the variable max points and set that to 0 too, since that's something else we're tracking now.
Are you good? Are you able to see that?
Yeah, I can see it good. Yep.
I'm just gonna have to get used to my screen being like scrunched up, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm working on a 49, so I'm just a little bit bigger than you screen size.
Is that good? Is that clear?
Yeah, that's good, man. I can see it without bending in too far.
Like that's easy to read?
Yep, I can see it. You're still good.
Okay.
Okay, so we're setting max points equal to 0, just like our other variables, because we don't know. We want it 0 though, right? We don't want it to return a text value.
Oh, okay.
See, yep.
And then latest name is actually last beam.
Yeah.
Unfinished is there.
Yep.
And then set row B, which is actually row beams.
Yep.
Equal to go and look up the ordered rows. So it's kind of like PEMDAS again. I'm going PEMDAS. It's saying look up the ordered rows of whatever you find in here.
He changed it to 0 instead of 100.
Huh.
So we need to do a deeper research on that 100. Like,
we do.
I don't think it's a pause. I definitely think it's a counter of some sort. Like it's some sort of a counter for this loop. Like how many times to circle around. So we're going to have to dig into that because that's just one concept I'm not picking up from C++.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have a complete date after our 0, right? Descending order.
Complete. Wait, let's see. Look up ordered rows AMPscript.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
So this is why we have 5 things now.
5 variables. So what's 3? 3 is, hold on. This is our answer right here. So what is variable 3, which is our 100, right? Because we've got, no, it's, okay, so we have cloud learner beams, 0 complete date. So it's number 2. What is number 2? Number of rows to return. Hey!
You did it. You did it.
I love it. Small victories. Small victories.
A value less than 1, so 0 returns the default 2,000 rows. You got it. You got it.
There it is.
See, you brought that C++ knowledge over.
Dude, it's just one language to another.
It's just literally.
Now, if I could just be bilingual that way, I would be in business.
Okay, that's a good question. I had a conversation with a friend. Which would you rather be fluent in?
Yeah.
3 different coding languages or 3 different speaking languages?
Oh, coding. I'm gonna say coding, man, for sure. For sure.
Coding.
Yep.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's how I communicate with all my other coders. We don't even need to speak the same language. Coding is universal, man. Universal.
But what do you think it's more valuable than being able to speak like Chinese?
I mean, once again, we can go back to the old AI example. I've got bots that'll do that for me now. It might not be perfect, but I'll get what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Now, if we're working on a big project, what would they rather me know? Mandarin or coding?
Right. True.
Like,
yeah.
This cat doesn't understand anything we're saying, but he can code.
What if the code is in Mandarin?
I'm not sure how that exactly works, dude. Because we get down to, what did they teach me in college? The ASCII system, or the basic lettering system that we use for coding? That's a great question, though. That's a great question. I have never thought about coding in a different dialect.
Same. I just thought of it.
That's wild. That's wild.
What if it's what if it's different? What if they don't use Python?
I guarantee, dude. I don't know about that. Not even gonna lie. Python is
Python's
pretty.
gotta have like some sort of
It's
script
pretty
that's
universal.
locale. It's like locale. It's probably
I mean, I've seen
basic.
global jobs that are using the same things that we're using.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely.
Because what is it really about? Is it about the country or is it about the company?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So
about
if the company is global, they're gonna definitely adapt a language that is friendly throughout the system.
right. Yeah,
Yep,
true.
yep.
And I guess locale, I would assume, is probably just basic computer science, like translating Chinese from to Spanish and
Right.
to German to English. Like I could see that. That's probably like a Linux thing or something like that.
Linux is very, very, very blueprint language.
Yeah.
Very, very bottom. The
Like-
most basic language. Yeah.
Right. And that's what runs, I feel like that's what runs the basic parts of the computer.
Oh, you're for sure. Yeah, absolutely. When I was in college, we worked off of a Linux system. There was no Windows.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, you getting compliments on the headset.
Compliments on the heads. Am I missing? Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I just picked that up.
Where'd you get it at?
So actually, Kunal, I grabbed this headset because my last headset, I'm not even gonna lie, you might find this funny. I got a big head, and my last headset was just squeezing my head throughout the day like a clamp, and it was giving me a headache by the end of the day. So I broke down. And let me tell you how I found this headset is I went to the reviews and I typed in somebody with a big head. Like I just typed in big head. And all of a sudden I got reviews like I've got a really big head and this is comfortable. I use it 10 hours a day. And I was like, that's the headset for me. That's the headset for me. Yeah. So it's a Logitech G Pro Sure Edition. So, and it's super comfy.
Hey, put it in the chat.
Will do. Hey, Josh, didn't even see you in here.
What's up, Josh? Hey, so we finally figured something out that we've been guessing about the past few days.
And I love it. It feels good to know it.
It does.
Mhm.
We're not guessing anymore.
Right.
So what does this say? So it says lookup ordered rows from this data extension called Cloud Learner Beams return me back 100 rows, but if you put 0, it returns the default of 2,000 rows.
Mm-hmm.
And then defines order of return as field ascending or field descending.
And we named it as descending.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we said descending.
And now we have field to use to build the where clause.
The field Cloud Learner ID field.
Yep. And then the value.
And then the value to use. So the actual specific. So
which will be the ID. I believe is the final piece of that string.
That's where I need to understand, what does value mean?
So the value that we're chasing from our requirements, right? So like what value are we specifically searching in these lookup order rows?
So we're looking up this field value from right here, this lookup rows where we're taking this variable row set. That's where I just need to kind of understand that how we were talking about that PEMDAS. Like, I just need to understand like how to read it backwards. Because I feel like the way to read AMPscript is from like the inside out. It feels like, and then
once you understand the function, it's the inside out. I still remember drawing the little lines on my paper to connect PEMDAS. Where you so I could draw little arrows to understand where each place of the equation was and what I was doing.
Yeah.
That's an old school method, but that's exactly what we're doing.
I know. Yeah. And like, I guess once you figure out how to read it that way, you'll figure out how to read it from the outside in, I guess.
Absolutely.
So, okay, the value part, I'm gonna have to do some more research on that. So, but I get kind of the gist of what we're doing here. And then we're setting, okay, so we set the row beams to that.
Yep. So we're setting everything to 0 and setting our text spaces to blank.
Okay, and then we said for B equals 1 to row count of row beams, which we just set the variable here, do this.
Yep.
And then we said, and then we started throwing in if statements into the
for loop.
loops. And that's where I also need to figure out how those work together. Honestly, man, we might just have to go back through the whole series of these videos.
Actually, now that we're at this point and we've beat our head against the wall, going back through it will be extremely valuable and quick.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. So we have for B equals 1 to row count of row beams, do this if B equals 1. So he has that. I guess does it really matter which position it's in? Like this if being 2 spaces below in line 42 versus being in line 41?
No, you can separate it as much as you want. You can create your gaps because you're going to be creating gaps with comment blocks for yourself, right? So it really doesn't matter how you break it up.
Okay.
Like, let's say this is an extremely important function that you're going to reuse so many times during this project, and you leave a comment block while you're building it out of all the different iterations you're going to use for it. So you can just quickly come back and be like, oh, that's right. This is what I was doing with it.
But he did say in one of the if statement videos a while back that the order you put the if statement in is the order it reads it in from the top down.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's still a top-down function. Yeah, but it doesn't matter if we have any spaces or gaps in between.
No, I meant like if I put this statement, if B equals 1, then
if you move that,
like let's say I had this here,
right?
And I took that away and now I had it here.
Oh yeah, you're completely changing your sentence. Your sentence structure is completely changed and your conditions.
Okay.
Yep. So you've just broken your order of commands to tell the system what to do first.
Okay.
Yep. So it's just a very basic command process down. So when you do that, you've broken your order of commands.
Okay.
So it wouldn't make sense to have B setting at B to equal 1 or true after your end if or after your set. You have to have that first.
Okay. Set latest name. Are we using latest name right here, or are we using last beam?
I'm seeing latest name. But
so
you can use last beam.
The only reason why we did that is because you know how like he has the code one way in the YouTube video and the code a different way in the
answer block. Well, yeah, in the answer block for sure.
Yeah. So I'm just going with the one that I'm at this point now. I'm just running off of pure memory.
I'm definitely convinced that the answer block is the cleaned up version.
Yeah, I hope so. I sure hope so.
All right, where are we at here?
AMP 03 beams.
Okay.
We're going to that data extension and we're grabbing that data extension. We're saying, go to lookup that data extension called AMP EO3 beams, comma. Oh yeah. And we got, Kunal said, SEO is really working. It seems. What did you type in?
He said, no, I didn't type that. He just said, I've got a big head too. SEO is really working. It seems. Thanks for explaining.
No, what'd you type into Google when you searched it up? You said big head headphones or something like that?
No, I went into Amazon and I was looking through my favorite line of headphones depending on the brand. I'm a big fan of Astro, Logitech, Sennheiser, and I was just typing in the reviews like big head. And any review that somebody said either if you don't have a big head, don't buy these, or I have a big head and they fit great. Listen, the search engine is amazing, man. Like if you just throw in some random words that what you're looking for, yeah, it's gonna give you what you want.
That's crazy. That just shows how much AI really just
You
is
know,
so smart.
I just thought to myself, there's got to be somebody else out there with a big head that's facing the same problem I am. So I just typed in big head in the reviews, and it just gave me everybody that mentioned big head. I love it.
Oh my
Yeah, I
god.
love it.
Oh. What do you think's
The
powering that? What do you think, huh? What were we gonna say?
Oh, what's powering Amazon's review engine? I have no idea. Big data tables. Big data tables.
Dude, I can't even imagine.
Imagine. Yeah.
Insane. Who's running that? What are the people's jobs that are running that?
I don't know. I think this headset alone had almost 3,000 reviews. So that's just one data table sitting there with negative reviews, positive reviews, complaints, all kinds of stuff.
Dude, they're storing so much
data. Mm-hmm.
So much data.
You imagine how much that costs a month.
I mean, they own it all, right?
Yeah. But
I mean,
I'm talking about all the way to the ground level of electricity, the warehouses to put the servers in to store. The one thing I noticed when I moved to Maine is the fact that there were no more Amazon and Google warehouses everywhere like there were in Ohio. Just giant data centers with blacked out windows, barbed wire gates, and it was just all protected data behind there, man. And I'm talking a whole road and just one after another down the entire road back in Ohio.
Dude, that's how they are out here in Texas.
Yeah, warehouses bigger than I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, dude,
it's wild. All air conditioned, and you got one or two guys running that whole warehouse on 2 shifts, running around replacing servers and racks and stuff in that whole place.
What?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I had a buddy that worked there. He goes, "It's a really cold job. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees outside because the whole place is air conditioned." He goes, "You have this little walkie-talkie and unit that they give you a message for what's broken, and you got to go search this thing down in thousands of rows of servers and banks to locate it." Yeah.
Wow.
For 12 hours a day.
Dude.
Yeah.
Tell me you have a stressful job without telling me you have a stressful job.
Exactly. Imagine just being in a maze of servers, man. Just a maze of servers. As tall as you can see.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's like those futuristic movies like
that are living on our back roads in these giant secured buildings. Right?
Dude, that's insane. That is insane.
It is. It's crazy. All right, where are we at? Oh, look, we can say you're at line 48. I love that.
Oh, yeah, that is. I have to get used to that.
Yep.
So now I'm adding in this.
Max points.
Yeah.
Tell me the color coding doesn't change the game for you.
Oh, it changes the game completely.
Completely.
Dude, this is where I'm going to just have everything at.
It's the best way to do it.
So right now I am max points, add max points, because max points is 0. So it's saying add 0 plus the number you find when you look up AMP EO3 beams data extension. Go to the points. So I'm going to just copy this.
All right.
Paste that. Add max points. Look up AMP EO3 beams. Points field, which is that field right here. And then where the ID is equal to the value, where the ID is equal to the value. So lookup function, AMPscript. What are these for? The four things for lookup function is return a specified value from a data extension. You can specify multiple additional fields and value pairs as part of an AND clause. So first thing is the data extension we're looking for, AMP EO3 beams, this one right here. Name of the column from which to return a value, points column, which is return that value. Name of the column where you want to have a value returned. And then name of a column that's used to identify the row
Containing the lookup value.
that makes sense.
Doesn't it?
The name of the column that identifies the row. It's the primary key.
Yeah.
Why was that so hard for me to recognize?
Because it's not that it's complicated, it's because it's basic. It's been given no name. It's been given no real definition other than the fact that it is number 3 within a function property of a syntax of a lookup. And we've just not defined it as a primary key. It's just, this is the basic code underneath all of it.
Wow.
Yep.
That makes so much sense now. The name of the column that is being used
To identify
to identify
the
row.
values that we want are the so when we're in content builder, what are we doing? Right? When we assign a primary key.
Dude, that makes so much sense now.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. Every day I feel like a new epiphany, new thing, new synapse is firing.
And honestly, it feels like we are moving forward, but what we're actually doing is we're going backwards to learn the blueprint of everything.
Because if we were just doing this exercise with Cameron just to get the exercise done, like,
yeah,
what would we really learn?
Nothing. Nothing. If we don't sit here and break it, we're not learning anything. You have to break things to learn things.
Yeah,
it's just a simple part of it. It doesn't matter what background you come from. It just a part of life is breaking things and fixing them, and that's how you get good at it. That's how you get good at it. Sometimes you might upset a boss because things didn't go as planned, but guess you won't do that again.
Right. You got the experience now.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm just glad we're able to play around in this playground.
Yeah.
This exercise. Shout
It's
out
great.
to Cameron Robert for real.
Yeah.
This dude,
Absolutely.
what an exercise. And then the last thing is value to match your string against. So string is a text, right? Or can string be anything?
Well, I mean, it's whatever.
What can a string be?
Let's see. Parsing, converting, concatenating, trimming, and matching.
Hold on.
I actually have to look up exactly the difference between parsing and concatenating. I don't even remember both of those terms.
A string is a type of value that can be stored in a variable. A string is made up of characters and can include letters, words, phrases, or symbols. Definition: strings hold groups of characters like a word or phrase. What is not considered a string? A string is a text and a non-string is a number. So string is text. String. Strings, which are widely used, are a sequence of characters. The Java platform provides a string class. To create a string is to write. So it looks like, Josh is saying it looks like a string is anything with words, a text. It's
Oh gosh, you see the hello down there? Hold on, if you could go back for just a second. You see that char hello array right there?
Yeah.
That's some old school C++. Like one of your basic assignments is just creating your hello world statement. Yeah, your hello string. So
Wow.
this string greeting hello world, this is like one of the most basic coding assignments you get as a beginning coder. Create your hello world statement. Yep.
I'm gonna put that in the chat.
That is through so many. I mean, now that I see it here, C++ was the same way here.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. I mean, look at what they did here. They just defined character hello array, right? And in this hello array, HELLO period. They're literally just defining, hey, spit this back out, right? Isn't that something? I love it.
It's all the same.
That honestly looks like the first piece of code I ever wrote. Right down there at the below here. This right here, down a little bit more. Right, this section right here looks like one of the first pieces of code I ever wrote.
Dude, hey. Like, I don't even know what to say, honestly, because I'm just looking at it and like so many synapses are firing, and I'm thinking,
Oh, it's exciting
Oracle uses it.
when you understand it.
It's crazy because it's like Oracle uses Java.
Mm-hmm.
Salesforce uses Apex, which is apparently people say Apex is like Java. And then you have SOQL, and then you have SQL, and then you have AMPscript, and I feel like they're all somewhat like siblings.
They are.
I don't. What's a scripting? I don't know. I don't even know what a scripting language is, but we can look that up. I'm going to try to.
Okay, let's see if we can wrap this up. How much time we got?
We have 7 minutes left.
Okay, let's do it.
So max points equals add max points, which is set to 0 right here.
Hey, Kaelan, what line are we on?
Oh, yeah, 48.
Hey! I love it.
I love that.
So
I really
convenient.
love the colors, too.
So convenient.
Oh, yeah. Max points, which was up here, to look up. Where are we at? Add max points, and you go and look up that data extension called AMP EO3 beams. Points. Name of the column to return the value, which is right here. Points. And then ID, which is the name of the column that's used to identify the row. And in this data extension, the primary key that's identifying the row is the ID field.
Mm-hmm.
So that's value 3, which is ID. And then the value to match the string against, which is the field of the row beams variable with the for loop function right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then beams ID, a B of beams ID. If that happens, right? Like if, where are we looking at here? If not empty, set beam, set points, set max points. If that doesn't happen, else
Set.
the variable called unfinished, which we set down here.
Mm-hmm.
Variable called unfinished on line 50.
Yep.
to concatenate unfinished, which is already
Right
set
there.
nothing,
Yep.
and go and look up
Look up.
AMP EO3 beams data extension, and go and find the name column.
Yep. Then the ID column.
Yep, because the name
And
of the
then-
column used to identify the row ID.
Mhm. Yep. And then we're going to go field row. And what we want is the beams ID in the end. And then break line.
And then break. And then if that is true, set that. Other than if that's
Mhm.
not true, then do this.
Do this.
Makes sense. Makes
Yes.
sense. And then in the if statement,
Yep. Next stat B.
then I wonder where all this stuff went. Where all that went.
Well, no, we still have that up above if you look. So at line 42 and 43, that's where it used to reside.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying? The whole deal there.
What
Yep.
about this?
And then that used to live.
Because we said something about
Okay,
it
so I think this is now our if not empty statement up above that we were using.
yeah.
Because it, right? Yeah, then. Yeah, that's our if. Yep, that's what we replaced with the if not empty statement.
Okay. And then we have, now we're setting in that if, and now we're doing a math function.
Mhm.
We're setting the percent
Yep.
variable to be format number. So we're formatting something inside of here.
Yep. We're formatting the giant number down to a percentage. So
Okay.
this is where we're doing the division from the business requirements gathering sheet, where it shows the division, you know, our symbol in there, how they want things to be broken down.
Yep. Max points. And then P0 is percentage to the 0 place.
Mm-hmm. So this makes more sense. Okay, this makes more sense about what Cameron did now. So Cameron ran through the first time to make sure he was going to get the big number. And then he went back to the BRG sheet. And then he was like, okay, what else do they want from me now that I'm getting the big number? Oh, okay, they want it down to just a percent with no leading zeros. So he came back in. He set that value to be created there in the HTML at the end of the lesson.
Yep.
All right. I got him. That makes sense.
He was just verifying stuff
He was
beforehand.
building blocks, because to him, he's just throwing in an equation to change the value in the block. That's it.
Yep.
He's not overcomplicating it. Yep.
Exactly.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
So after that set, we don't need the next.
Josh says, here comes the math.
Dude, when you start throwing math in with coding, you're like, what's going on?
Josh, I kid you not, and Kaelan's gonna laugh at this. And I don't think I've ever shared this. When I was a kid, I actually had an abacus that I slid the beads across to start my beginning math when I was a kid.
Dude, what is an abacus?
So it is it's a style of calculator where you slide beads across to get your answer in the end.
ABAKISS.
No, ABA. There it is, right there. Abacus.
I knew
Yep.
Google would find it.
Dude, just like that. Yep. And each color had a different value. This is where I learned math. My first
Dude,
math.
I'm learning math like that.
No, you don't.
Oh,
No,
that'd be
you
fun.
don't.
I feel like I missed out.
Dude, give me a. That's what mine looked like, right?
I love it. Oh, there's 100. So it's like you can go up to okay.
Yeah.
Dude, yes. This is what every kid needs.
It's super simple, man. Yeah. Isn't that wild? Like
don't
that
have
was
to
one of
see-
my toys growing up as a kid. Yep.
Because you could do like what's 3 times 10, and then you just
Mhm.
have all 10 of those done.
Yeah.
You know, like with 3 little.
Yep. And then I would get 30. Yeah.
Dude, that is genius. I
Isn't
never
it? Dude,
played
that
with
was a toy in my toy box. Like that was a part of my playing, man.
Wow.
Yeah, times have changed. Josh is saying absolutely wild. I just aged myself so bad.
Dude, I feel like even kids in the 90s. I was a 90s kid. I feel like we had that. I swear, we did. I saw those. I just never
Yeah.
knew they were.
You were like, what is that?
I just
Because
looked
remember, man, I didn't have a calculator. Like, I didn't even have a calculator till I think I was probably 6 or 7. Yeah. I definitely see that as a toy. No, definitely didn't. I've seen them too.
I love the comments. I love the comments.
I love it. I love it.
Dude. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah. Okay.
I love that.
That makes sense.
That's fantastic.
Okay, wait,
There we-
let's see. I think we got it. I think we
Okay,
got it.
well, hey, let's do this before we hit run. Let's go to the right and see if it shows us any errors. Like on the AMPscript.io, remember it gives us a view where it'll show us that we have no incomplete syntaxes. So can we refresh here?
It can't recognize the function format number in line 54.
Okay. Why is that?
What does he have?
He's got format number. Oh, no. It's because you have an N in there, Kaelan.
Oh,
Gotcha. All right.
dude, that helps. What? That's
See?
amazing.
Look, okay, line 32, unmatched parentheses. Okay, so where are we missing a parenthesis?
You got it
Do we
there
need?
and on the outside. We have it there and right there.
I'm looking.
There and right there.
I know that's our timer, but we're right at the cusp.
Right there. We're right there. We got that with that on the outside. The next one that comes up is field row right
Mhm.
there. We have one for that. Then we have one for row and right there.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then what's the last one? Next keyword in loop is missing. I say we run it.
Let's do it. Table, copy, bring it over here. I'm going to save this, create new, name this. Which exercise is this? Code block number 4. I think it's number 4. We'll see. Save. I'm going to bring this, copy all or click all, paste. It doesn't like this one. TH doesn't like that.
It doesn't like the TH and TR, and I don't know why.
No, it does. It's just who I. Oh, look right here. Look.
There it is.
Okay. Schedule and publish. Let's see. It's thinking. Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Okay, so I'm gonna just make one last statement. Is that we got to go back and change those variables that aren't matching that we're using.
Yeah, true.
Yep, that's our last, and we can finish that up in the afternoon session.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining in, and we're going to be back here in the afternoon, more than likely around 2:30 p.m. So turn on those post notifications so you get notified. We're going to knock this assignment out and keep learning AMPscript. Hey, appreciate you, Therion.
Yep, absolutely. MinuteAdmin out.
MinuteAdmin out. See you guys.
Take it easy.